was in 4th grade, walking home with my sister one day. We came upon some kids swinging on vines. Underneath was a creek with gray, oozing clay. I can swing like that, I heard myself say. Yeah, it looked real easy and a fine old time. My sister said, if you do it, Joe, for Pete's sake, don't let go. And I reached up and grabbed me a big old vine. Well, I started to swing and I picked up speed. Just before I got to the creek, I let go and landed with a big old splat. My sister shook her head and said, boy, why'd you do that? And I said it seemed like a good idea at the time. I was sure everything was gonna turn out fine. I didn't show lick a sense, said no regard for any consequence. Yeah, seemed like a good idea at the time. Many years later, my son was 8. He got a brand new bike and he just couldn't wait for me to come home from work and teach him to ride. That evening as I pulled in the drive, I barely saw somebody fly by pumping those pedals. He was on his brand new bike. Well, he didn't know how to use the brakes, so he sped by and headed straight for the big old bush that grew next to the drive. And just before he and that bike crashed, he jumped in the air as quick as a flash and hit the lawn rolling and stopped, not moving at all. And I just shook my head and said, son, why'd you take that fall? And he said it seemed like a good idea at the time. I was sure everything was gonna turn out fine. He didn't show a lick of sense, said no regard for any consequence. Yet seemed like a good idea at the time. Now the Lord has blessed me with another son. I sure hope he takes after his mom, but if he's like me or his brother, I'm sure he'll say, here, hold my beer, 'cause it seemed like a good idea at the time. I was sure everything was gonna turn out fine. I didn't know lick of sense, had no regard for any consequence. Yet seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah, it seemed like a good idea at the time.